So I'll tell you like I told you before, I don't have any bills now. So how did I go week to week struggling to owning my own home on a large piece of land? This solar system powers my entire cabin. This solar system I built here powers this entire cabin. So if you want a place like this, I'm gonna show you exactly how to do it in 2026. We're way up in the mountains in the middle of nowhere. So in 2013, I filed my income tax. I got around $5,000 back, and I knew I wanted to buy a piece of property. I was looking for the best deal. I was looking for the best place. After I had the money in hand, I went to 5 different properties over the next month, trying to see which one was going to be the best for me. I was living in Fort Worth, Texas, so automatically I was looking for property in Texas. I did not have any good credit, so I was having to get owner-financed land. So I was searching the internet and found it through an online land company. My payments were going to be $500 a month. At the time I bought it, I wasn't making very much money, about $500 or $600 a week. And no matter what, I never missed that land payment. I was getting older and I knew time was running out, and everybody I knew had already bought a house and been paying on it for 15 to 20 years. I knew I had to figure something out quick, or I was going to be stuck with nothing when I got older. Fast forward 7 years, and I have 30 acres and a tiny house that I own free and clear. I had no desire to live in the city limits. I wanted a piece of land where my dogs could run free, I could hunt, and I didn't have so many restrictions. So one of the things I did was work very hard over the years on building this place up. Basically building my dream home. Now this is not much of a house to call a dream home, but it's mine and I own it. It's just a tiny little shed that I converted to a house. The size of it is 12 by 28. So today I'm trying to explain to you how I did it. I'm trying to show you that it can still be done. And I want to let you know that I built this one step at a time. I've also done many improvements, like put 2 cabins on it, dug 2 ponds, cleared 2 acres, made a nice accessible road to the property, and lots of other small things, but it was hard work over the years. My land was worth about $50,000 when I bought it, and now it's worth about $150,000. One of the reasons I got this land so cheap is because it's completely off of the grid. There's no water connections out here, and there's no electricity. Now some of the neighbors that are out here that have 40 and 50 acre plots, they each paid a part and had the electric company move the poles out here to their property, in turn making it closer to mine. At the time I bought the property, it wasn't even worth what it was cost to have electricity put out here. Now I decided a long time ago when there was no electricity out here that I was gonna go solar. So I invested in a small solar system with like 2 solar panels, a small inverter, and like 4 car batteries. But it wasn't gonna do what I needed in the future, and I knew that. Remember, at the same time, I still have my rent house while I'm trying to fix this place up. So I built another system, and another system, and another, and I just kept adding on and making it bigger and bigger throughout the years. I've done several videos on it showing exactly how I did it. This cabin behind me is another cabin that's on my property that my old man stays in. You may know him from a couple of my videos by the name Jack. It works out good for the both of us because while I'm working during the week, he's able to stay here and keep an eye on my property. I've never had any real problems out here. We're way up in the mountains in the middle of nowhere. There is off-grid land in many states, but it's really easy to acquire in Oklahoma. Once you find off-grid land in Oklahoma, you want to make sure that you find land that has no restrictions or no covenants. You don't want to have to be going by anyone's rules or following any covenants. If you do and you choose to, well, that's up to you. So yeah, how did I get the property? Well, like I said, I just went online and I looked up off-grid land for sale in Oklahoma. So on my system for my tiny cabin, I ended up putting up 7,000 watts worth of solar panels. That was like 20 335 watt panels. Panels just like this now are going to cost you around $113 a piece. I'll leave a link in the description if you're interested in solar panels that are that cheap. This wasn't very hard to wire up. Once I figured out how solar worked, I was able to take a system like this, wire it up, and power the house up without any issues. As time went on, I kept building and building and building onto the system, and now it's very powerful, and it works good for me. In the summertime, I run my air conditioner 24/7, and I don't have any issues. It's enough power to run everything in the house day and night. For instance, I ran off the batteries last night, and I can bet you we look in here and we're at 100% charged during the day. So maybe the batteries ran down about 15 to 20% overnight, but every single day that the sun comes out, it recharges the batteries back to 100%. This is my battery bank, and these are my two inverters that run the house. Now, I've showed this system many a times, but it's always good to take a look at it and make sure everything's going okay. These are my two 3,000 watt inverters, totaling 6,000 watts to power the house. The reason why I have two and I don't just have a single 6,000 watt inverter is because I started off with one. And these inverters are made to where you can parallel to them if you need more power in the future, which is exactly what happened. Batteries are definitely floating at 100% charged. The system does absolutely amazing. You may have heard of these batteries. They're by Vatcher or Vattier. Some people pronounce it a little different. Although there are lower prices on batteries now, these are still very competitive at around $799. These are my 600 amp bus bars right here, and they basically combine all the batteries together so they can run into the inverters. So yeah, now I have two inverters at 6,000 watts and 6 batteries at 30 kilowatt hours to run this house. I went with the highest quality equipment for the cheapest price. I'll leave links to this entire system, the inverters, the batteries, and the solar panels, in case you want to buy a system that's big enough to run a cabin like mine. So if you're wanting to do something like this is the year to do it. Gas prices are down, there's no tariffs, solar equipment is cheap, and land is not getting any cheaper. You've seen me install several solar systems on my off-grid property, and you've also seen me install a couple of systems at my house in the city. So yeah, I want to clear the confusion. Yes, I have my off-grid property. It's where I'm going to live all the time here in the near future. But I still have another place that I stay in during the week. And unfortunately for me, my job's not very close to my property. So keeping my day job and renting a place close to my job is really ideal. I hope that clears up a little bit of the confusion. The $500 a month note on this land was for 10 years. When I got to 7 years, I ran into a little bit of money and I was able to pay the rest of it off. So I had this completely paid off in 7 years. So this is my big water tank right here next to my house. It holds 6,000 gallons of water, and I fill it up from the rain gutters that come off the roof. If you watch some of my previous videos, you'll know that I put a pump underground so it didn't freeze in the wintertime. The pump and the filter pressurize the house up with water. The only maintenance that I really have to do is make sure that the filter stays clean, and I shock the water in the tank about once every 3 months. A lot of people ask, how do you keep the tank from freezing in the wintertime? It would really take a long time with the temperature really low in order to freeze that much water. Right here's where the gutters come into the tank, and I have just a little screen there that stops the big debris from coming in. And so yeah, right here where I have this blue water tank, I just have the tank sitting here so nothing can stand on my barrel that's underground and crush in my pump. I haven't quite figured out the best way to do that yet, and the only worry I have is I had some wild horses that came up here and they stepped on my septic system and they smashed it in. So I don't want them to do the same thing to my water system. So yeah, that's why I have that there for now. You know, I had a choice, get a tractor for my property or get a skid steer, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna get a track hoe. I've seen a lot of comments in my videos say, yeah, man, you got bills. What are you talking about? You still have taxes. Yeah, well, we're always going to have taxes, and I think everybody knows that, just like we always got to eat. Those things are going to cost money. But yeah, if you want to call that a bill, $284 this year for 30 acres. But yeah, unfortunately, that's even double of what it was from last year. It was only $142 last year. And like I said, now it's $284. What was amazing to me is when I bought this property in 2013, my taxes on these 30 acres was $12 a year. So yeah, when you build on it, it's gonna go up. And yeah, if you're looking for cheap taxes, you need to go to Oklahoma. So yeah, let me quickly go over what I would do if I had to do this again right now like you need to. The first thing I would do was get online and kind of see what the prices are going for. I know that here in my area, you can find about 5 acres for about $35,000 to $40,000. Some of those properties are gonna have covenants and some aren't. I'm choosing properties without covenants and without restrictions. In the meantime, I'm going to be saving up around 12% down because that's about what they're asking for now. And then you're going to be on a payment for like $350 to $500 a month. And that'll probably be 10 to 12 years. I've said this before, go to sites like landmoto.com, Classic Country Land, Southeastern Oklahoma Land Company, and yeah, just look around on the internet for off-grid property. So yeah, it's really cool owning an off-grid property. And it's really cool being able to be 100% self-sustainable on this property. I really enjoy installing solar systems now. I love the fact that I don't have to be plugged into the grid. Like I said, I have more power than I need. I also get great deals when I review these products, so that helps me out also. Me reviewing these products also gives you a good chance to use my links and get a really good deal on them. So yeah, no water bill, no electric bill, no rent, just taxes. What do you think?